Welcome to our channel, where we update the most dramatic and attractive episodes from the hit movie Beyond the Gates. In today's article, we will take you into the episode airing on Wednesday, July 9th, an episode that is considered one of the most explosive points of this season, where buried secrets begin to rise, personal conspiracies collide, and seemingly unbreakable relationships begin to crack in unexpected ways. As the darkness of the past quietly surrounds the false light that the Dupree family uses to cover up its dirty history, an earthquake is gradually forming from the cracks that seem to have been buried forever. Smitty, a loner with unresolved wounds in his soul, suddenly finds a surprising common ground with Jacob, who has always been seen as a weak shadow behind the curtain of the Dupree family's glitter. In the darkness and suffocating silence of the old house south of the manor, they discover a forgotten file, stuck tightly in a rusted safe, locked with a combination that is the birth date of a child that no one in the family wants to talk about. The documents inside reveal a hidden accident, an unannounced death, and a series of payments that have been transferred regularly over the years to an address that no one dares to approach. What is most shocking is the final photo. A child with eyes identical to Jacob's, standing next to a woman who was a maid at the manor more than 2 decades ago, then suddenly disappeared without a trace. It's all part of what Smitty calls a family's legacy of deception, where the strong in a family always override the truth with power and money. Jacob, for the first time in his life, feels justified in breaking his blind obedience to the Dupree clan, and Smitty sees an opportunity for revenge, not with blood, but by uncovering every secret they've tried to hide. As Smitty and Jacob secretly gather evidence, on the other side of town, Vanessa is playing a game more dangerous than anything she's ever faced. She's no longer the docile, gentle woman who sits behind the polished tables. Vanessa is now a predator with a clear goal: to take down Joey before he gets smart enough to turn the tables. Joey, once a pawn set to marry Vanessa as part of a strategy to merge the two branches of the family, is now her greatest threat. Vanessa discovers that he is secretly investigating the disappearance of a witness named Miguel, who worked for Dupree's subsidiary and disappeared shortly after the inside information was leaked. Left with no other choice, Vanessa holds a secret meeting in the greenhouse behind the mansion and delivers an ultimatum so cold that Joey is left speechless. Either he stops everything and continues to play the role of the ideal husband the media expects, or she will have him prosecuted for the very backroom deals he signed years ago, papers that Vanessa stole from his father's safe. Joey understands that Vanessa is not a threat. She acts. She doesn't need forgiveness. She needs power, and she won't let anyone stand in her way. Backed into a corner, Joey is forced to make a decision that could cost him everything. But he knows that if he doesn't act now, he'll be nothing more than a lifeless corpse hanging by the strings of fame that Vanessa controls. Meanwhile, where the spotlights have yet to dim, Danny falls into a state of insane jealousy. She has long since realized that Andre is no longer completely hers. The tenderness in his eyes is now reserved for someone else, someone Danny cannot control, cannot manipulate, and cannot touch. Danny's emotions turn from suspicion to hatred, then to irreparable hurt. She begins to follow Andre, gathering evidence, not to catch him red-handed, but to drown herself in the pain of betrayal. The photos she took, the recorded calls, the text messages she stole from Andre's phone, all of them gradually turned Danny into someone who lived only to wait for the moment of revenge. She no longer cared who Andre loved, or how many times he cheated on her. What she wanted was to make him lose everything: his career, his family's trust, and the honor he had built. Danny sent an anonymous letter to the press, revealing that Andre had signed sham contracts and accepted black commissions from a company linked to human trafficking. She also provided copies of confidential financial documents, things that could only be obtained if she had access to Andre's personal laptop. No one knew how she got them, but that didn't matter. When the article was published, Andre not only lost his seat on the board of directors, but was also summoned by the police for investigation. These three seemingly unrelated storylines gradually converge like 3 streams of blood flowing into a heart that is about to stop beating. Jacob, with the help of Smitty, decides to confront the head of the family, Mr. Charles, the head of the Dupree empire. But just before they can make their accusations, Jacob receives an anonymous video recording of himself appearing in a secret conference room many years ago, where a contract involving money laundering was signed in his name. Although Jacob has no memory of ever being there, Smitty immediately realizes that this is a sinister plot, and that they are facing a force willing to rewrite other people's memories to erase the truth. At the same time, Joey is pursued by his former allies, people Vanessa bribed with promises of positions, assets, and protection. He must flee the city overnight, leaving behind the reputation he once proudly built. Danny, on the cusp of victory, stands alone in the cold penthouse, watching Andre's arrest on television, but feels no satisfaction. She realizes that in trying to destroy others, she has also become the most distorted version of herself. There is nothing to be proud of, no more love, and no more salvation. The episode ends with a long, silent shot of Charles standing in front of a wall of family photos, taking them down one by one, burning them in the fireplace, as if trying to erase history. But what he doesn't know is that elsewhere in the mansion, Smitty has secretly installed a camera and recorded the entire confession he once blurted out while drunk, a confession that could end the entire Dupree dynasty with the push of a button. The episode ends in silence, but the audience knows for sure that the real storm has not yet begun. It has just formed behind the gate, where the ghosts of the past are quietly returning. Don't miss the next developments, which will be more tense and cruel than ever. Everything that seems to be the end is just the beginning of an uncompromising battle between blood, power, and truth. Follow and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any breathtaking moments from Beyond the Gates, where the past never rests and darkness always knows how to return.